Hello friends, it's Mark Beck, your favorite realtor with REMAX Glacier Country in Kalispell. And I wanted to do a little vlog about a question that I get very frequently. And it is, hey Mark, do you think I could VRBO this house? Or, hey Mark, do you think I could throw my house on Airbnb, get it rented out, make some money? Well, in Montana, it's kind of a popular thing to do that now because there's a lot of people coming here. There's a lot of people coming here for vacations. It's a big part of the Montana economy now is tourism. And I think personally, I think it's a great opportunity to own a house and use it specifically for that use, to pay your mortgage to pay that house off. And I think it's a great opportunity from a consumer aspect. If you haven't done Airbnb or you haven't done VRBO yet and used that as an alternative for lodging, you should give it a shot. It's a great experience. So I think, first off, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a lawyer. I am a real estate professional, and I do have an understanding of the laws that govern this, and I have spoke at length with some city officials that are in administration and handle the laws that govern over this. So I have a basic understanding of it. I have sold property that was for the purpose of VRBO. And the three major factors here are HOAs, zoning, and deed restrictions. So the first one I'll talk about, homeowners associations. A lot of people live in a subdivision, it's a development, and there is an association of owners that make sure the protective covenants are being abided by, and they handle paving or plowing in the area or whatever it might be. So it's important to understand those three factors because it's going to play into what you can do. So the first one being homeowners associations. Homeowners associations generally enforce their own private covenants. So covenants, we call them CCRs, covenants, conditions, and restrictions. So what that means is you might own a house, it's in a subdivision, and then those covenants restrict what you can do with your property. And generally the number one jargon that you will read is no commercial use, no nuisances shall be created, no home run businesses that increase the traffic to your home. Those are kind of like spoiler-plated lines that you'll find in these covenants. So the good question to ask is a VRBO, a short-term rental. I don't want to pay any copyrights to any websites that are booking agencies. So a short-term rental, is it a commercial use of the property? The short answer is no, it's not. Federal and state laws do not consider it commercial use, provided that you're renting to single families. So not large groups of people that are not related, 10 or 15 frat boys or a hockey team, something like that could be concluded to be commercial use. But if you're renting to families, a single family unit, they come there for the weekend, that is not considered commercial use. I am going to try and put some links in this description to find some laws that support that, but I do have that on the authority of Columbia Falls when I was speaking to Susan Nicosia. They do not view it as commercial use. So that being said, there may be actual restrictions in your covenants that say no short-term rentals, no rentals less than 30 days. That's also popular in newer subdivisions. But remember, a lot of these covenants and subdivisions, they were created back in the 1970s or the 80s, even up towards 2000. And that just didn't exist back then. It wasn't even a thought in people's mind. So a lot of covenants don't have any restrictions in there. So it's good to search those out and make sure there's no amendments that have changed it later on either. If you're having trouble, if you want to look this stuff up, just give me a call if you're having trouble finding it. Maybe your secretary, you can't get a hold of them, or you don't know who it is that's in, on your board there with the HOA. I can pull up covenants for you. They are public record, and I can get them very easily. It's not an issue. Just email me with the property information. The second one I think it's important to go over is zoning. So what is zoning? Zoning is restrictions placed on certain areas by either county or city governments. And zoning is going to have, you'll see things like, our zoning is R1, R2, R3, RA1, a whole list of these 3-letter codes or 2-letter codes. So what do those mean? There's a booklet. I'm going to a PDF for Flathead County, because I'm going to just pertain this to Flathead County. That's what I know. That's where I work. So I'll put the link to that PDF. You can look at it and view the most up-to-date one in this description here. And you're going to find permitted use and special use. So what's the difference between the two? Well, permitted use is just that. That zoning permits you to do short-term rentals, provided it's at the standard that they require. So special use. What is special use? Well, maybe you've gotten in the past in your mail a letter from the county or the city saying, hey, I've got the such and such person at your address 2 doors down from you in your neighborhood has applied for a special use permit, and we've opened this up to comments from the neighborhood. And maybe you went in and you commented, no, I don't want a VRBO, a short-term rental in my neighborhood. That is part of the special use permit. They're going to poll the county. What I find is funny is that if you talk to these cities about the comment section that they sent out to the neighborhood before they issue the permit, I ask them, can the neighborhood change the decision if there's enough negative feedback? And the answer was pretty much no. Like, everyone can write in and say, we don't want this. And if there's nothing legally stopping it, or there's no safety issues with it, they're gonna get the permit. At least in regards with Columbia Falls, which I thought was funny, because basically these cities and these counties are opening themselves up to just hate mail. Hate mail from people that don't want their neighbors to profit, and which I thought was cute. Anyhow, so that is the special use permit. You fill out an application with the presiding government there, whether it's the city or just the county. You have to get the fire marshal comes out and inspects the property. They check to make sure that the egress windows are in each bedroom, and check to make sure that it has the adequate amount of smoke alarms, and that's it. And then you sign up for the state of Montana has a bed tax and has some performance and oversight that they want to check. And you submit that you've done everything with fire marshal, state of Montana. You submit the application to your local authority. They mail your neighbors, and within a period of time, you've got your permit. And you pay a nominal fee to get it. So it's kind of silly, but it's just a way for them to regulate and see who is doing it, And so I understand the safety factors of it and the fire. So that part's not silly, but the commenting part is pretty silly. So the third one, deed restrictions. I promised myself I'm not going to get on a rant or tangent. And if you know me personally, it's easy for me to do. Deed restrictions. So let's just do an illustration here. If someone owned a 5-acre parcel, not zoned, no covenants. It's just vacant land in Montana somewhere. If they decided to split that, through like maybe a family transfer, and then it got sold later, at the time of sale or at the time of that family transfer, they could put deed restrictions. So it's very similar to covenants. Now it's not a subdivision, it's not an HOA controlled environment, but say it's a family transfer. It's been split. They would restrict it, and they could put the restriction in there that property cannot be rented at a nightly, weekly basis. I don't know why anyone would do that. You significantly decrease the value of your property. If you look at houses that can be sold or can be rented on a short-term basis, they get more money. They sell for more because the more options it has. It is in itself a small business, the house. So it's very. I would never recommend that you deed restrict your property like that. That's my opinion, but I'm entitled to it. So those are the main parameters there. And I would like to, if you're the kind of person that you don't agree with this short-term rental buzz, I would love to know why that is. And there's comments below. Please put them in there. If you get nasty and there's all sorts of curse words, I'm gonna delete it. So just don't go there. We want to keep it friendly, but give me constructive, feedback on why you don't like it. Because I've talked to some city officials that are over this, and there's the top two reasons why people complain. Is they say it's going to ruin the neighborhood, and they're making money. Look at how much money they're making off of this. Well, I'm a capitalist, so why do you care how much money your neighbor's making? I mean, if anything, that just shows you, wow, the market's there. Maybe I should rent mine, Maybe I should do what he's doing. How is he so much smarter than me? Why didn't I think of this? That would be going through my head, not jealousy, but and then ruining the neighborhood. I personally live in a neighborhood where there is an ample amount of vacation rentals, an ample amount of short-term, nightly, weekly rentals. It's the best neighborhood I've ever lived in. It's like not having real neighbors. They come with it's families. It's families. They come, they rent a Suburban, grandma, grandpa, grandkids, mom and dad, rent a Suburban. They come there, they sleep, they go to Glacier National Park, they go to Big Mountain, whatever they're doing. You don't see them all day. They come back and they go to sleep because they're burnt out. It's not the narrative that's being projected that it's a huge party fest and it ruins your neighborhood and it makes it quiet. I think people are projecting this narrative, buying into this narrative that it's bad. And if you look at or if you talk to anyone who's done property management before, you get great tenants, oftentimes better tenants when you're renting on a nightly, weekly basis to people who are on vacation than you do to someone locally that's living here and just renting your house on an annual basis. Your wear and tear seems to go up when that happens. I'm not going to push, anything mean, or I'm not going to make any speculation. But if anything, it makes it more competitive, because if you want to rent, if you can't buy or you don't want to buy, it's just going to make you have to be a better tenant, because if you have to compete with a totally different market, which I kind of agree with. I mean, you should have to give them some assurance on why should I rent to you versus putting it on a website and renting it out on a vacation basis. So, which I think is great. Every day I interview for my job when I go to a listing appointment, or when someone calls me on the phone and asks to interview me if they want to use me as their realtor. So I interview every day for my job. I have no security. So I think it pushes you to work harder and to be better, which I can't disagree with. So, but I would love to hear your comments on this. and it's a great discussion. I'm looking forward to seeing what the short-term rental industry and market looks like in future years. I'm really looking forward to seeing that and participating in it, as I fully intend to vacation rent one of my properties. So that's it for now. I'm gonna keep it short, and please comment below, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna try and get more information out here, more videos in this coming year. Thank you very much. Happy New Year. Look forward to 2020.